On the sunny coast of southern France, DreamHack Masters took to Marseille in the spring of 2018. A tournament stacked with every top team in the world and a few up-and-coming underdogs. We were about to see some first-class Counter-Strike action.
To play second fiddle to this one plan. Flash and smoke over towards highway. He spots more players and he's about to get pushed and Device is going to get it done. The back is going to get found. Dupree still lurking in the shadows of Boiler as they've now trying to lead by example. He's picked up 3 and Dupree's got the final.
I remember that tournament as one of my best individually, actually. We brought in Magisk. We had a lot of time to prepare. We had some qualifiers online, stuff like that. We were so ready for that tournament.
Coming into the tournament, Astralis had shown great results online but had missed out on being on top of the podium for some time.
Going into the quarterfinal at DreamHack Masters Marseille, I knew that of course it was going to be tough for us, but I still felt like that we were playing so well coming into the tournament and I felt like that we could beat anyone.
They're all up there.
Rain down to 19. Rangers has to be sacrificial. Oh my goodness, Zipex, that was beautiful. He schools them in the ramp.
When we played the games, it just felt so natural, so easy. Like every guy just kept making 2 or 3 kills when somebody ran into them. So, I mean, if you play like that, then it's going to be easy to win Counter-Strike games.
JW's got the off in his hands.
He's by the fountain, going position, and he gets the headshot on Flusher as well. My God. To the side, Golden trying to find his way in. Device going to take 2 in a row, and that might be enough. The quad kills to end it. All of the headshots, and 16-5.
After an easy road to the grand finals, only Navi stood between them and the trophy.
I felt like it would be a tough final, but I don't think that the Navi players could actually get into our heads, or like every time we just saw them, we just got a multi-frag or something like that.
Navi had destroyed the opponents on their side of the bracket and came into the finals with Simple in fantastic shape.
They have enough time to rotate, they're not going to go for it. Here comes Regis, he's not going to get the spray on point, but Glaive could. Through the smoke, he's trying to find a way to kill Simple, who simply will not fall. And I'm Glaive to be pushing this one, and he's got the kill! Astralis are victorious!
After 1 year without a trophy, DreamHack Masters Marseille and Magisk propelled Astralis to the stars.
Welcome back to another day of DreamHack Masters Winter 2020. We've just seen Astralis lift another trophy in our reminder, a throwback to Marseille Bleu. I'm looking forward to getting into today. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I had a good full day of rest. My body clock is all over the place, but that doesn't really matter because guess what? Counter-Strike, that's what keeps me going.
It does indeed keep us going. I'm really looking forward to getting into today. I'm looking forward to getting into it, and let's waste no time. Let's get into DreamHack Masters Winter 2020.
DreamHack Masters Winter is brought to you by Intel, Corsair, Monster Energy, and MSI.
DreamHack Winter continues here. Blur, my voice just kind of gave up. I had a little bit of a choke. It's snowing outside. It's a little bit cold, but I'm looking forward to getting into this one. The Counter-Strike warms all of our hearts, Blur, and we've got plenty of action continuing here on this stream.
Absolutely. I mean, we are well and truly into December, the final month of the year. It has been a bit of a strange year, but what better way to end it with some great Counter-Strike action. Of course, we're still in the group stage though, but the games we've seen Liquid already knocked out Dinko. That's how brutal this tournament has been so far for even some of the favorites. So the action doesn't even have to be till the you don't have to wait till the playoffs to see good games. From day one onwards, it's just been a series of fantastic matchups that we've had the pleasure of witnessing.
Man, we have seen some of the CIS teams really tearing it up here at this tournament as well, Blur. I think a lot of people have been underestimating them for a very long time, and some of these young guns are finally showing up to the server. Gambit have already made it to the playoffs, Blur. Are we going to expect more of the same from those guys?
Oh, for sure. They have looked fantastic. I do believe it was I think it was a tweet from Scrawny, who mentioned how we talk about Colossus, we talk about a Juggernaut, but it's actually the other X-Men, the one not many people talk about, Gambit, who have just been dominating. And it's really cool to see. We saw the DreamHack Open event, which took place last week. It was Gambit and Spirit in the grand finals. They were the two favorites there. You saw the rest of the teams, kind of like, you know, tier 3, tier 2.5 level teams, and they won it pretty convincingly. Obviously, Gambit coming out on top, and many people were like, it's the usual, you know, their opposition wasn't that great. And it's really cool to see them really step it up here against the absolute best in the world. Gambit looking great. We have Spirit looking great as well. Namiga, unfortunately, fell yesterday. They have been knocked out. However, Spirit and Gambit, I'm expecting them to deal a bit more damage before they go down.
Yeah, plenty more damage here at DreamHack Masters Winter, but it wouldn't be all possible without our sponsors. A quick shout out to Intel, Corsair, MSI, Monster Energy, and the US Air Force for making this show possible, Blur. And when you take a look at what is coming up, Blur, I'm really looking forward to sort of seeing the storylines continue, because we've actually got, it feels like in this online era, a lot of interesting teams, a lot of interesting storylines coming up, Blur, because these teams, they're not exactly the teams that were at the top throughout 2018, 2019. We've seen Liquid fall out in the group stages. We've seen the likes of Spirit start to stay in the tournament. And I'm looking forward to seeing if some of these younger teams and some of these teams that really haven't had their time in the shine come out in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you can clearly see over here, Group A, we saw the way it played out. We saw Heroic and Gambit make their way to the playoffs. Heroic, a little bit of an easier run. They took on Spirit, not an easy matter at all. FaZe fell to Spirit earlier, and now they're going to be in the lower bracket, but they're going to be facing off against Complexity. Complexity, on the other hand, a pretty labored effort against ENCE. They were able to get the win in the end, but then Gambit just mowed them down, taking on both Complexity and Cloud9, which is why we have Heroic and Gambit in who have made it to the playoffs. And today's games are going to decide which other two teams from Group A are going to be joining them. And Group B, on the other hand, my oh my, Godsend, what a run they've had so far, Dinko.
Yeah, Godsend, man. Coming into this event, they've beaten out Astralis. They took a map off Mouse Sports, who are actually looking really good right now. Mouse Sports have definitely picked up the pace again. They've made it to the playoffs alongside Furia, who took the win over G2 yesterday. We've got North going down to lower bracket. They survived, and they'll be taking on Godsend a little bit later on. A difficult match for this new look North team. G2 and Astralis, though. That's a lower bracket match. How is this happening, Blur?
It happened because Furia beat them, right? But yeah, I mean, this is a matchup no one really expected to take place. But then again, you look at the teams playing here. You look at Liquid, Mouse, G2, you have Furia, you have Astralis. You do expect a few upsets to take place. But yeah, the Godsend win over Astralis kind of ruined everyone's day in the lower bracket. Liquid, they lost to Mouse. I wouldn't say it was expected. Mouse played fantastically with the addition of Myther. This new look Mouse looking pretty good with the new coach. And if you have Astralis in the lower bracket, you're in for a rough time. And G2 losing to Furia yesterday means, yeah, that's going to be a rough game. At the same time, though, this new G2 lineup, they've looked great so far. So that is the game that I personally am looking forward to the most for today.
Well, Launders was talking about it the other day. He was saying if anybody goes down to that lower bracket and it's not Astralis, you know, G2 should beat anybody. Liquid should make it through. But Astralis going down there, that's not a team you're beating right now. And unfortunately, we did see Liquid go home yesterday. Here in the Europe playoff bracket right now, we're looking for Heroic and Godsend versus North. That'll be the winner of today's matchup. Mouse Sports will play the winner of Team Spirit versus Cloud9. And that game is going to be very interesting. A lot of split ideas on how that game is going to go out. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that one, honestly, Blood. I mean, Spirit are coming into this tournament, I think, underestimated still. I think if they win over Cloud9, I think some of the people that are underestimating them still will start to realize how good this team really are.
Yeah, the thing with Spirit are, excuse me, like early last week, they would have been probably one of the better teams in CIS, but they have kind of dropped off a little bit. They lost to Gambit in DreamHack Open November finals was kind of telling, right? They lost 3-1 very convincingly on 3 maps as well. So they have kind of fallen off a little bit, but these are the CIS teams. They are very, very dangerous. They have the firepower. And Cloud9, they have been off to a shaky start. You can't really overhype this team. They're looking pretty good at times, and rough at the same time as well. And I do believe, of course, we have the North American group. So yeah, that game's going to be interesting. However, on the side of North America, Dinko, we saw some pretty wild Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I think that's a nice way of putting it, honestly. North America is up in the air right now. It's not exactly where it used to be. We've got Chaos, Rugrats, that started things off. I mean, both teams looking real shaky. Luckily, Chaos recover and get the 2-0 over Rebirth after they won their initial matchup against Triumph. So we've seen very interesting matches come out from that side of the bracket. Chaos went on to win over Rebirth in 2-0, really recovering well. And over here in Group B, we've got the Brazilians battling out in the opening game. Team 1 went on to beat Mythic, but just about. That game was incredibly close, and I think Mythic are surprising everyone in this tournament, right? They're a team that have put no work in, put no practice in. They're just gifted individuals at Counter-Strike, and they've actually been able to take maps and a series win against New England Whalers. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more of Mythic. I feel like they're super dangerous right now for those 2 remaining teams.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this team and you're like, they're kind of a stream meme dream team, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you look at the individuals, they are talented, very experienced veterans, the majority of them. So they have been playing some pretty good Counter-Strike, I won't lie. However, yeah, I mean, if you are a full-fledged team, you should be beating Mythic, but they've had a fantastic run. I'm looking forward to see if New England Whalers are able to win their matchup, I think, against Team Yeah. And if they do that, that rematch against Mythic is going to be a banger.
Yeah, it was really close game the last time around. It was really the individual level coming out from Mythic. New England Whalers looked real rough, and I think it's kind of a bad sign right over there for the North American side of things right now, that some of these teams that have stuck together for a long time are starting to fall off, and some of these mixed teams are actually beating them out. We know the teams with inconsistencies in terms of the roster, inconsistencies with results play. It's not looking so great over there. And with the recent announcement of Chaos, they're wanting to try and finish this year with a bang, right? They want to really make themselves look like a hot prospect so that they can potentially get picked up by another organization heading into the end of this year.
Yeah, it's just rough news all around for some of these, the tier 2, the tier 1.5 teams in North America, the Chaos news like you brought up. A win here would be massive, right? I know it's a rough spot for NACS right now, with Orgs not really picking up any of these teams or kind of letting go of the CS lineups and whatnot. But yeah, you don't want to give up. I really do have a lot of respect and love for these teams that are sticking around with Counter-Strike despite the COVID times and them struggling with org issues and whatnot. So yeah, Chaos are the favorites, and I really do hope they're able to prove why they are the favorites.
Well, you speak of changes, and North have undergone quite a few changes over the past couple of years, and recently, again, right, they've taken out MSL, they've taken out AZ finally, right? There's been a very long time for this team, a lot of people calling for that change, but you take a look at North right now, it's a new face. They've got some younger players in. One of the more recent additions, who actually is a bit of an older player, considering that, you've got in Cristo now, it's Lekro, right? He's been playing over at NIP. He's been looking very solid. He's got quite a good career under him. He just hasn't really picked up all the trophies yet. I feel like he's got untapped potential, and he's going to try and find it with this new look North. We've got a video ready. Get right. A legend has sat down ready to speak to Lekro, and I'm looking forward to seeing the insights of Lekro heading into their matchup today.
For almost my entire life, playing Counter-Strike was everything, and it was everything I dreamed of. I won trophies, traveled the world, and played in the biggest arenas. I spent my career as a player being asked the same stupid questions.
How do you feel?
Over and over
What went wrong?
and over again.
You had a terrible CT side. How did you turn it round to take the game? Why are Astralis the best team in the world?
But now I've decided to face a new challenge, to interview the players I once faced on the servers. Because if Frankie can do it, I mean, anyone can do it. So, hi Lekro, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, wonderful. If you go back to 2016, when you were playing with Godsend, when you got basically the golden opportunity for, the rumor was saying that you were playing matchmake with Pronax, and then all of a sudden you actually got a chance to play with a former major champion. And how was that? And how did they really find you, basically?
I think I played a little bit with Public Clear in the beginning, and we got invited to FPL by accident, but Yeah, so basically we got invited, and I started playing some FPL, and I was really annoying to play against. People heard that, and then Twist said that we should try me out because he thought like I was annoying and people didn't like me in FPL. So
What do you mean with wrongly invited?
yeah, it was another team was supposed to be invited, and they thought we were them, and we got the invite, so it was kind of messy.
How is that
I'm glad it happened.
I mean, surely, I mean, it helped you on your journey in the CS career here, wise, but still at the same time, like that doesn't make any sense at all. How was it to be playing next to an in-game leader such a golden, since he was such a new and unproven in-game leader? That time period, because it was like a little bit longer than a year you guys played together, right?
It was a bit scary in the beginning because I didn't know much about him, but just later on it showed how good a gamble or a pickup it was.
It was. I mean, you guys were shocking the world when you winning Katowice over FaZe. There was like one of the most craziest finals, and then all of a sudden you went to win that Chinese tournament as well. Eventually, they made a cut for you to join, us in NIP. In that time period, especially in Fnatic, and then coming to us, like, what was the mindset and how was the feeling like towards the end in Fnatic?
I think we played in game really well together, but we didn't really mesh outside of the game. And when it's going bad and you don't get really well outside of the game, then it gets like ruptures and it's kind of rough. So I think that's basically what happened, that we didn't really agree outside of the game. So that's kind of why we drifted apart in a way. And that's also a reason why I was excited to join NIP, because I knew about all the guys there. So I was just excited to like get back on top and show that I could help us like revive ourselves kind of in that way.
How was your gut feeling when you took over? Was it like desperate of hope, or was it more like, okay, I'm ready for a challenge and I'm gonna do the best for it?
I thought I could really make it work, and to become an in-game leader, you really have to believe in yourself as well. So if you ever doubt yourself and stuff like that, it's not gonna end up very well. And so I think it was starting to go really well for us. I think it was it Katowice when we did really well, and then things started falling apart. So I think if things went upwards from there, I think we could have become really good. But we had some issues within the team that kind of stopped it, I think.
Everyone would probably say the same if we were talking the group again about it. Since after that, Twist came into the team, and FaZe was looking much better than before then. Were you feeling some uncertainty regarding that team, or were you like unclear in general after that time period?
It was good and it was bad. You could kind of feel it in the atmosphere a bit. Since Forrest also, he was definitely not agreeing on the replacement of you. You could kind of feel it, like he was upset about it and how it was handled. Like after you changed, the atmosphere changed also, both in the way that Forrest didn't want to, and both you had like you were a big voice in the team. So that way it was like a big change for me. And but of course, at the same time, I think everyone felt like we needed some kind of change. It didn't really matter, I don't think, who it was. It's like when I said when Forrest left, we like needed a restart. That's the main thing I think we needed.
So it was a big change, but it was just needed for the team to like move forward instead of backward.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like the main reason.
Okay. I feel I'm done at least.
Yep. Yeah, I gotta go. Yeah.
I love those interviews, man. I think we've been missing content like that for a long time. It's good to hear a legend like Get Right really ask some really good questions. And the main thing that jumped out for me there, Bly, was the talking point about NIP, right? With Forrest wanting to hang on with Get Right and not really agreeing with the change. I think when you look at NIP, it really did feel like, even from the outside, that they kind of needed that big cut, right? You got to get rid of all the old and get the new in if you're going to rebuild.
Yeah, you have to. And I think it was a very brave move to make. And I don't really fault them for going for it. But I also can understand why. The very interesting point he made there, Lekro made, was Forrest not being happy with the removal of Get Right, And that makes sense. They were the oldest and longest lasting couple in Counter-Strike history. They've been playing together since 2008. Yeah. Just pointing at 2008. Think how old were you in 2008?
5? 7 or 8 years old. So
close, right there. So yeah, they've been playing that long.
Off.
So imagine losing your partner for so long. Obviously, he would be a little annoyed. But yeah, I love his interviews. Like Get Right, obviously being a player who knows these players at a much more closer level than any of us. It's cool stuff.
Yeah, great insight. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of those over the next few days. But we're going to have to go to a short break, Blair. I'm looking forward to getting into the action going in after this one. I'm looking forward to opening up our first game. We get into it. It's going to be Complexity taking on FaZe Clan. Lots of action on the server coming up after the break. Stars all over the server. FaZe Clan taking on Complexity heading into this one. I'm super excited to see what FaZe Clan can offer us. I mean, they've been limping along. Complexity have actually been in a little bit of a rough spot themselves as well. 2 losses, or should I say a win, barely, a loss coming in the second series. Blah, a little bit frozen, stuck in time, but I'm looking forward to seeing if Complexity can overcome their problems as they come up against FaZe Clan today.
Yeah, hopefully none of the teams get stuck like I did here. But I have to agree with you. I feel like both the teams, it's an elimination game. For either of these two teams, it's going to be almost unacceptable to be knocked out or to not make it to the playoffs. Complexity mainly being the bigger losers if they do lose this particular series. FaZe have looked shaky. You know, I mean, obviously losing Nico was going to be a big blow. Olaf coming back. You know, we have this Kirby edition. Hasn't really panned out in my personal opinion, but they are still a very dangerous team, right? They are a team who, like you mentioned, they have the star power, they have the firepower, and on a good day, they could potentially take on any team on the planet. So it depends which side of FaZe we're going to be seeing here today.
Man, when you look at these teams, right, you just look at the players on the server and you just immediately know you're going to get a good game of Counter-Strike. At least you should. It's kind of weird seeing these two teams kind of struggle along, but FaZe Clan coming in against Complexity, you can have your say in Twitch chat. Use hashtag FaZe if you think they're going to win and hashtag COL if you think Complexity are going to be picking up the win today. Honestly, Blad, it's going to be a closely contested battle going into this matchup.
It is, and for the side of Complexity, I mean, that win over ENCE, like you mentioned, it could have gone the way of ENCE. Config dropped 37 kills in regulation to win map number 3. So if he hadn't shown up and just gone God mode, it would have been ENCE winning that matchup. So they're not looking that hot right now. They got completely, absolutely demolished by Gambit, who also beat Cloud9 very, very convincingly. And we were actually waiting for that matchup, right? We were waiting for Complexity versus Cloud9, the Juggernaut Colossus battle in the upper brackets. Never took place because the third X-Men came in and just smacked both of them.
Yeah, right now we're looking at Complexity versus FaZe, and I mean, the lower bracket matches in this tournament are just incredible, right? We just have so many good teams in the lower bracket, and unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye to a few of them. Coming into this matchup, like you said, there was a huge underperformance coming in from Complexity. I think people have kind of gotten used to FaZe Clan being in a bit of a weird spot. They definitely have some caveats beside this team, but Complexity, I mean, they do lose Obo, right? A very solid player in their team, but they brought in JKS, and when you look at this guy, this player is incredible, right? Coming into this team, we know there's going to be a little bit of teething room, right? You're going to have a way of figuring out what roles he's going to take because he's been so used to playing the star in his team, but it has been a little bit hit or miss recently.
It has. JKS, the best player to have ever come out from Australia, New Zealand, from the Oceanic region, and for him to be in a team like this filled with other stars, that's what I feel a lot of fans have been waiting for. I've been waiting for it as well personally. And you look at BlameF, the guy has been a beast. Config has been the hard carry in a lot of these maps, but like you said, JKS has been kind of quiet compared to the level we know he can reach. Poison as well, we know how good this guy can be with the AWP. He hasn't been terrible or anything, but he's been kind of mediocre, and that's something which is worrying for me. Like, if the individuals, if it's going to come down to BlameF and Config just carrying the team, it's not going to work out. And even as a team, as a unit, when it comes to the tactical side of things, they haven't looked that hot so far recently.
No, it feels like they're kind of missing that X factor right now, right? They're not really having that raw ability. Config is having to carry them through maps right now, but we're looking forward to hearing the thoughts of Complexity heading into this one. We've got an interview to make sure that Complexity are feeling good coming up against FaZe Clan.
To be cosmetic, to get the front there, that's nice, but winning the round, that seems to be out of the question, but...
Yeah, I think they pretty much just ran us over, honestly. It's hard to say what happened. Like, I think they did a lot of the stuff we kind of expected them to do, but didn't counter them and didn't really do much of what we talked about, which is easy to say, of course, now. But yeah, they did a lot of the usual stuff, I think, and it's all working. So couldn't really shut it down.
Gambit, they are a legit team, James. They are top solid Counter-Strikers. They need to be careful now. Now Playmaker got 2 kills.
Back then. They even had 3 kills. Plus the one on JKS, that is a costly.
FaZe is in a kind of little bit of a weird spot right now, where they don't really have the full line with the 1-2 right now, so they're kind of playing with not much fear and all that, and that is very hard to play against sometimes when people just kind of play to have fun when they don't have much on the line, so it's always hard to play against a lineup like that.
The trigger distant pin from Rush. He's waiting for it. That is beautiful. First kill, second kill for Rush. Not the best weapon you want to have. Rush gunning for it. Third.
Interesting to hear from BlimmF on his thoughts and his opponents coming into today, saying FaZe Clan are just going to be playing for fun. I think this team, honestly, they've got a lot of rebuilding to do. They're playing for a huge organization. I was listening to a lot of the interviews Yanko was giving out recently, and the pressure is certainly in the teams in terms of realizing they're on FaZe Clan, right? You have to perform in this team. The expectations are so high for this roster, and they haven't really been able to get it done recently for a very long time.
And it comes down to leadership issues. That's something that hasn't been fixed yet, right? We saw Nico with the unwilling king, so to speak, right? He didn't want to be the in-game leader. Unfortunately, he was forced to wear that crown. Now he's left, and now it's kind of like this leadership thing. They don't really have an actual in-game leader, which is a problem. Because in Counter-Strike, you want to have someone really calling the shots and knowing what to do. So you might have the right elements, but you don't have kind of like someone to kind of work it around, work the pieces on the chessboard. It's not really going to work out. Brokey, however, has been fantastic so far in this tournament. Like, you talk about Olaf being underwhelming, Rain not really being at the level we know he can reach, but Brokey has just been fantastic so far, and I feel like he is the one shining light for the side of FaZe in DreamHack Masters so far.
Yeah, when you bring in coldzera, obviously the money is gone, right? You got to pick up some of these young guns, and Brokey is a big pickup. And honestly, he has been fantastic coming into this team. I think he took a little time getting into the roster, but since then has just been on fire. I'm really looking forward to seeing more out of Brokey. This guy, he's just really starting, right? He's a rookie to the top level pro scene, and he looks like he's been here for years.
He does, which is crazy. That game against Contact, mind you, if it wasn't for Brokey, that could have gone the way of Contact. FaZe wouldn't even be here right now, and that was Brokey all around with the AWP, with the AK-47, huge clutches coming out from him. But even that win over Contact, that is the worrying thing. You're FaZe. You're supposed to be winning that game way more easily. So, sure, they lost to Spirit. They had a narrow win over Contact, but right now, FaZe, they're in a bit of trouble.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing from FaZe Clan and getting an insight into the team heading into their matchup today.
Otto bypassing the first shot to secure the second, and now Olaf rips in with his Tech 9. It's 2 kills.
Yeah, the game against Contact was harder than expected, I would say. They play good, they play low speed.
In low shape, Rigon will get caught.
We have a little bit of trouble with the structure right now. I mean, I'm a stand-in and Cold is calling. Right now I'm just focused on playing as a stand-in, and then I will see what happens after that.
For them, it's not necessarily surprising. They fare better in the pistol. No! Oh my god!
Going up against Complexity will be a really tough match, no matter what. I think they have 5 very solid players.
At the same time, however, Brokey, he's already back in position by this point, and he's just styling on them.
FaZe Clan definitely talking about some of the weaknesses in the team, and they're really letting that shine, right? They're letting everybody know of all the problems within the team. They were talking about how coldzera is not enjoying in-game leading, Olaf making sure that people are aware that he is a stand-in. It feels like they're really trying to get the pressure off the team finally. This team have been playing under so much pressure for so long, and if they can kind of throw that pressure off and hopefully negate some of the criticism they've had on social media, maybe the pressure can be off slightly, Blair.
It could be, but I believe it's going to come down to the maps as well, like to kind of alleviate the pressure a little bit, right? And we of course have the map Vita coming up right now, but I don't know which way this one's going to go. I know Vertigo is going to be banned out by the side of FaZe. The thing with Complexity is they have a floating map pool. They can literally just pick or ban whatever they want, and I feel like Vertigo being banned out is expected. I feel like Dust 2 being banned by Complexity would be the power move here, the power play. That is usually a map that FaZe do generally go for as kind of like a safety pick. So I'm curious to see what Complexity is going to do. Are they going to be playing it safe, banning out one of the usual maps, which usually is a Vertigo or maybe a Train? They don't really play Inferno that much either. There we go, Train getting banned out. This should be Duster being picked by FaZe Clan. Unfortunately for FaZe, the map pool, no matter which way you look at it, it's going to be favoring Complexity. Even the maps they enjoy playing are maps that Complexity are pretty comfortable on. So Dust2 coming in is going to alleviate a little bit of the pressure we were talking about, Dinko. It's going to be at least a comfort place, you know, a comfort pick for FaZe Clan. It's going to be, never mind, Inferno. Okay. That's a punish pick, because Complexity so far with this lineup have only played one Inferno game. So maybe FaZe have something up their sleeves here.
Yeah, we talk about Complexity's map pool, but they have looked pretty rough in this tournament so far. So catching them off guard, maybe pulling out an Inferno they haven't really had much practice on in officials. I think it's a pretty good shout from FaZe Clan.
This is nice. I like to see this. I do believe if this is the case, Complexity should be banning out Dust2 in a second phase. The pick, we're still waiting on it. I don't know which way Complexity is going to go, but this Overpass maybe would be a map which they should be more comfortable on. Mirage, Overpass perhaps? I'm not too sure. I still feel Nuke could be a decider. I don't see either of these two teams banning out Nuke. Okay, they're going to be going for the Nuke pick. Fair enough. It's a map where FaZe are okay playing. This is actually turning out to be pretty good for FaZe, Dinko.
Yeah, it's giving them a pretty good chance to at least compete in this series, right? You take a look at the maps, they're not going to be feeling too uncomfortable. You bring up Overpass, but Complexity lost against ENCE on that map to start off this tournament, so maybe they've kind of rattled their cage a little bit. Maybe getting smashed by Gambit and losing a map to ENCE has kind of ruined the confidence a little bit. Overpass coming out as a ban from FaZe Clan, no surprises there. We know Complexity are still pretty solid on the map, and you don't want to let that go through as the decider.
Yeah, and Mirage gonna be, of course, the decider. Dust2 being banned, that's expected. You don't want FaZe to be comfortable in all the three maps, right? Mirage is gonna be 50-50. I wasn't convinced with Complexity's Mirage, honestly. I think of like Config dropping 37 kills to beat ENCE playing their first tournament with the new edition. That was not looking good at all. So if I'm Complexity, I don't want it to go to map number 3, or else anything could happen.
Yeah, when we take a look at the Twitch vote, you guys think Complexity are going to win. It's very close indeed. 55% for Complexity, 45% for FaZe Clan. And I'm going to say, Blatt, honestly, if FaZe Clan are to win a series against Complexity, I feel like this is the best chance to do it.
This is their best chance, honestly. The maps are kind of favoring them. I know they've gone for this kind of like a punish pick on Inferno. I hope they've done their homework as well. Complexity going for Nuke. It's a map they're very, very comfortable on. But then, like you mentioned earlier, it's a map that FaZe, despite having scrappy, close wins, they still do get the win, right? So yeah, if FaZe want to take this, there's a very real chance they can potentially pull it off. But Complexity, I don't know, man. Like they're so up and down. The way they got dismantled by Gambit, it just throws a lot of doubts for me with this particular team.
Yeah, especially with the performance against ENCE, right? Started off looking real solid coming into this tournament, but they kind of dropped the ball a little bit against ENCE. That comeback on Dust2 started to come through, then the loss in Overpass, and barely scraping a win after a big carry from Config on Mirage. Now, that is not a great sign. Then getting absolutely dismantled by Gambit. Complexity have not shown us anything in this tournament, and if we're starting to head into the later stages, you know, you're fighting this lower bracket. If they want to go deep in this tournament, not only do they have to win here, but I feel like this is the start of the snowball effect. They need to get that ball rolling, and if they don't, I do fear for Complexity's chances in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, the Juggernaut, as I say, once it starts moving, that's when it's unstoppable. Unfortunately, Complexity haven't started moving yet. They're still stagnant, still stuck. I was looking at a few of the stats for both these teams, and they had some pretty rough stats. Complexity have the second worst 5v4 conversion, meaning they win the opening duel and they struggle at winning the round. That is a big problem. And also, they have the worst trade percentage so far in the tournament. That is, they lose a player and they don't trade good enough. They're the worst among 16 teams. That's a stat which I wouldn't expect to see with a team like Complexity, and that's a worrying sign.
Yeah, that's a very worrying sign. That's not painting a particularly pretty picture for either teams, though, going into this next one. I think when you take a look at FaZe Clan, they've got a lot of work to do, of course, rebuilding, trying to figure out what the future is for this team. A win over Complexity will certainly give them confidence heading into this matchup. The Stars will take to the server after the break, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Complexity can do. Can they bounce back? Can they get the win under their belt? Or FaZe Clan send them packing? Join us after the break, ladies and gentlemen. FaZe Clan taking on Complexity. FaZe Clan versus Complexity, a matchup that everybody wants to see, but it's in the lower bracket. It's a little bit unexpected to be here, but one of these teams is going home at the end of this matchup. Both teams looking to survive, and really, this is a good chance for FaZe Clan, right? You look at this on paper, we look at Complexity as the favorites. They should be moving through, but FaZe Clan, they can be a little bit of a nuisance.
They can be a bit of a nuisance, although that map pick in particular, Inferno getting picked for me, I want to believe that they have something stored in plan for Complexity. Complexity have looked very mortal indeed recently as well. I mean, losing to Gambit in that fashion, having a close series against ENCE. This is a bleeding Complexity. This is a Complexity who can definitely be taken down by the likes of FaZe if all the stars do shine today.
Well, yeah, Complexity, their logo is a star. They're a dying star right now. They're going to have to pull the energy out of this one. I'm looking forward to seeing if Complexity can pull that black hole and just fully pull FaZe Clan right into it, Black. Because right now, FaZe Clan are definitely not looking anywhere near where we want them to be. Brokey is the one shining light for this team right now. We've highlighted that fact. So to come up against Complexity, they're going to need more than just one young gun player, right? They're going to need everybody to kind of show up and hit their level.
Well, if you're talking about pressure being on FaZe, look at the names you have. You have Olaf Meister, one of the greatest of all time when it comes to CSGO. You have Rain. The guy has been absolutely the best player for FaZe throughout its entire tenure in the team. You got Kirby, he's been around for a long time. You have coldzera, multiple major winners. So they're used to pressure, Dinko. And we're going to jumping in straight into map number 1. It is going to be an Inferno. The map pick coming in from FaZe Clan. They're going to be starting on the T side. Couple of smokes, Molotov, and a flashbang for Olaf and coldzera. And it's going to be Blame F and JKS holding the fort towards the B-bomb site.
JKS looking down Banana for this early fight. He's just kind of gathering some early info. He's going to peek out to the right side. A couple of players from FaZe Clan starting the run up. JKS spots them. Has the HE grenade at the ready. Just about to dive around that corner and dish out some damage. And oh my god, it is indeed. Look how much damage that does to FaZe Clan.
That's over 130 points of damage being dealt without having seen anyone. That's a god tier nade. The smokes are going to be raining in though, Dinko, and Blame F. He's blinded. That's a great flashbang, and he's going to reposition himself towards the coffins, leaving JKS alone. And he's going to be mowed down as first blood will be drawn for the side of FaZe Clan.
Well, Blame F trying to catch a couple of players through the smoke, but it's poisoned with the headshot, and we're into a 4v4. Bomb is planted. Complexity looking for this retake. No kits alive on the 4 players right now, so we're looking at FaZe Clan to try and step up for the post plant, and they're not going to play this one passive. Rain instead taking a fight down spawn. He's collected the first kill. Rush has swung back in, and it's a 3v3 trying to reclaim the site. coldzera locking him out this time. Brokey peeking out, and FaZe Clan confirm themselves this pistol. Rush is trying his best, but the time is ticking. The players hide away, cowering in the back of the site, and it is done. Complexity will lose this pistol round. FaZe Clan not off to a bad start at all.
Lovely work from Kirby. They're not showing himself at all, forcing the final player to push on in. And despite the damage being dealt out by JKS early on, clean entries coming in. Rain with the P250, the raid boss. And despite some trades going the way of Complexity, a good start to the map here for the side of FaZe. Again, reminding everyone this is the pick coming in for the international squad. Well, to be honest, both the teams are international. I wonder how many nationalities are in the server right now. Maybe someone can let us know.
I think we work that out ourselves as well here. We have a little moment, I suppose, at the start of this round. We've got Blame F is Danish. That's 1. Rush is a North American. So you got 2. Poison's Bulgarian. Another Dane, so you can't count that. Australian.
We got 8.
4 already. So you've worked it out, Black. Quicker than me. I was trying to go through it very slowly, but there's 8 nationalities out of 10 players.
Yeah, because we got 3 Danes. Obviously, Blame F. We got Config. We got Kirby. Yeah, and of course, the rest of them are all different nationalities. Australians, Americans, Estonians, you got everyone, Dinko. It is truly global offensive. Force buy for the side of Complexity, though. We got Eagles, we got a season in hand to Blame F, a lot of nades as well, which I haven't really used too much. A very default-ish setup. They do have config perched towards the balcony area, and FaZe just poking and prodding, trying to find something, trying to find some information. But this push from config, this could be huge. It's all about the timing. And Rain's going to walk straight into his crosshair, AK-47 retrieved, and that might force FaZe back towards the B-bomb site.
No, they're not turning back just yet. They're still exploring this A side of the map, and they're about to walk into config again. He's got a perfect read, but he's going to lose his head. coldzera just tears it right off. And now we've got a very good start for FaZe Clan as they start to wrap around this A site. Good headshot from Poison, though. This is what Complexity can do with the Deagles. Oh, they're doing it right now. Rushed with a second kill as well. And Complexity, they are doing work on these pistols. Coldzera's trying his best to do a little bit of work, but they lost the round. Complexity showing up in the force buy. Poison with 2. Config got it started. And Complexity win in the chaos.
The Deagles putting in the work, just getting clothesline, opens it up with the kill onto Config. Sorry, the Config getting the kill, then Poison. These shots were spectacular, but more importantly for me, it was how he just stayed alive, dancing around the boxes, the pillar, forcing Brokey to kind of almost run out of bullets, and then finishing him off. That's a huge round for Complexity. 2 AK-47s retrieved as well. And for FaZe, they've gone for... it's not a full-fledged investment. There is a bit of money still remaining in the bank, but it is still a rough buy, Dinko. Deagles abound Kirby with the Tech 9. They have a smoke. A couple of players with Kevlar. Oh, and Poison turns on a corner and multiple players staring at him, and they run on in straight to the blender, and it's going to be 2 easy kills for Poison.
I have to say, that is comical, right? I couldn't hold it in. It was just the close shoulder peek. Gives himself the widest angle away to FaZe Clan and then throws the Molotov down. They both run at him and he just takes 2 kills. Fantastic stuff from Poison. And now, while the start for Complexity is suddenly looking good, they lose the pistol round, but they come back swinging, and this time it is looking clean. Config, second kill to get himself far, and another one to clean it up. 2-on-4 Complexity. Money gone for FaZe Clan going into this next one. You can maybe expect a couple of P250s, maybe a little CZ or Tech 9 action right here, but Complexity should be taking 3 rounds on the board. And I have to say, for FaZe Clan, I want to see a good start. I want to see all these rounds be picked up early on. I want to see some momentum and confidence. I feel like that's what FaZe kind of lacked for a little while. It's just that momentum, a little bit of confidence that'll really let these stars shine.
You know what they say? The most dangerous animal is one that's bleeding, that's trapped. And right now, FaZe Clan, they have nothing to lose. And looking at the names in that server, I mean, the amount of trophies they have, all of these should get the kill, but no! Wait, what?
Poison somehow taking himself down.
What? Okay, I'm very confused. I think he had a nade in hand, but...
Yeah, maybe. Well, Config getting killed with Kirby. Blimf getting a double kill. Now Rim being cleaned up as well. Blimf having a field day against the Pistols. Poison having a bit of a fumble, but nonetheless, maybe we'll get to see what happened blood again, but... Complexity.
Need to replay of that.
Yeah, 3-1 up. Here we go. He has the nade in hand. Right, so the headshot and then the nade, because Olaf Meister did enough damage. Okay. That's a little panic right there. He's setting up the mid nade. Then Olaf swings out a boiler, throws the grenade away, pulls out the rifle. And because Olaf did enough damage, the nade was lethal.
And indeed, for Olaf, even though he doesn't get the kill, he kind of does get the kill in the end. So he's going to be pretty happy with that. 3-1 up for Complexity, though. They have won 3 in a row. They survived the force buys, the anti-ecos, and now it's going to be the full buy from the side of FaZe Clan. 5 AK-47s, a multitude of smokes will be deployed. They're going to be pushing on towards mid, and those nades are dealing so much damage. Look at the damage inflicted onto Cold. He's down to 25 points of health. Rain and Kirby as well. Their health getting chipped away by the utility usage from Complexity, and now they have 4 players lying in wait. Towards the B-bomb side is JKS alone with the FAMAS, but he's got playing a very, very passive hand. And Rosh gets spotted out by Rain, boosting himself up over the smoke. That's a crucial opening kill going the way of FaZe.
FaZe Clan with the round picked up. Just the one at the start of the pistol round, but they've got the initial kill coming into round number 5. A chance to redeem themselves early on Inferno, but look how much damage they've taken on board. It's actually a miracle that they haven't lost a player yet, Blur. Olaf down to 11, Coldzera on 25, Rain on 32 HP, Kirby on 69. Luckily, Brokey is on 100 right now, so he is the one player you want to keep an eye on here. FaZe Clan turning their attentions right to the smoke. They're going to run right into the B-bomb side. JKS, no stranger to the hole in the anchor position. He's got himself the first, a double lineup on the FAMAS as well. JKS tears them apart. And Olaf Meister and Rain a 3v2 to try and pull off the post plant.
Look at the health. A combined total of 43 points of health in the 2 remaining players of FaZe. Olaf holding the angle, waiting for the Config to crouch into his position, but he gets a little too over-eager, and now it's all on Rain. It's a 1v3, and although he almost takes down Config, Config's gonna win the duel. 4-1 for Complexity. starting to look good here. For FaZe, at least to get the bomb down, Denko, that means a bit of money, a bit of extra cash in the bank. However, if I'm FaZe, I'm just going for the pistol upgrades here. It's not really worth going for the full-fledged force buy because utility will be non-existent. And JKS, he makes the FAMAS look good. That's so impressive.
Yeah, gets a little lucky on the lineup, of course, to get away with 3, but still, fantastic control from JKS. He does not panic. He does not flinch in those moments. And that's exactly why he's such an integral player when he's popping off. And now that's a talking point player. One that we didn't really get to talk about much is JKS has been pretty quiet in this tournament for Complexity.
Yeah, and he is eventually going to wake up, Tinko. That is JKS. Like, Mr. Justin Savage, he doesn't have that many streaks of bad games. And when he wakes up, Complexity, they're going to be looking extremely dangerous. It's only a question of when. If you're a Complexity fan, if you're Jason Lake, you want that game to be here. Because if they win this, they're going to be making to the playoffs. And from then on, Dinko, it's not going to get any easier. It's going to get even more harder. You have teams like Gambit waiting for them. You have teams like Astralis. So, oh, I love that. I love that. Although, I'm not able to block it full-fledged, but the aggression from Complexity, that's a perfect nade from JKS, finds Coldzera. Of course, it is the kind of a light investment with the hero AK-47. So they really shouldn't be losing too many players here, or should Complexity, as Rush does win the duel. And it's going to be a shutdown, Denko. The solo AK-40 is in the hands of Rain. Hasn't got anything done yet. Although, I say that if he finds one, if he wins the duel with JKS, he can at least get the bomb down. But JKS is going to come out on top. 3K for him, 5-1 for Complexity. Clean round. They lose just 1 player.
I know it was only 1 kill there from Rain, but if he picked up that second, I was starting to get a little bit of a flashback. You know, the Rain 1v5s, we've seen them in history, blah. It was, he started to look a little crisper towards the end, but 5-1, Complexity. They're looking quite solid right now. FaZe Clan finally getting the rifles out again. This time they've got full utility around it. Oh, we gotta see them start picking up rounds early on. They can't let Complexity get going like this. JKS is having a good performance right out of the gate right now, and so that's a big problem for the likes of FaZe Clan. If you've got to deal with Complexity showing up across the board, well, you've got another thing coming.
Indeed, they have another thing coming, and look at the money as well for Complexity. They have started to build up a pretty hefty bank account, an average of about $7,000 on each and every one of the players, as FaZe are creeping up to this A bomb site now. Config is in a very crucial spot. He's blinded, but he still gets a spray, blinded or not, through the smoke. Bomb spotted out, and is going to push on in through into the smoke. He's holding the angle. Bomb drop on the balcony. Blame F. He's just biding his time, waiting for them to show themselves. A 3v4, and JK is going to strike. He's going to find one, and Config finds Brokey as well. And once more, Dinko, it's Rain all alone in a 1v3.
Rain in a 1 versus 3 clutch. Can he pull it off? 50 seconds left in this clock. Bomb on his back. There's a player inside of the site. Actually, the bomb isn't on his back. It looked like it was on him, but he's up above on the balcony. He's gone to grab it. He's in behind him. He's now picked it up. Now, down into the site. Player in the left corner. Blim F over that. JKS a little bit further off long, but as soon as that full commit comes in, Blim F over the top. Kill comes through. He was confident to take that fight, knowing that it had players both towards long and short side. And Complexity just completely shut down these set strats. I mean, FaZe kind of coming into this, it's very simple plays, Blow. They had the moto smoke up in towards the A site, and they run through a smoke in the balcony. I smell a little bit of desperateness coming out of FaZe Clan early on.
And the flash wasn't good enough at all. Config was blinded for like half a millisecond. He still gets 3 kills in the end there. And I love how Blameff did not budge from that position the entire round, and then prevents the bomb from getting planted as well in the end. Coldzera burns alive. I guess he was completely blinded there, Dinko. That's the only explanation. And this is worrying. We saw this pick coming in from FaZe. We thought Inferno, maybe that's something to score for us here, but it's not really working out. And JKS waking up as well. That is a scary, scary sign. JKS, Mr. Justin Savage, 3K for him. Of course, it is just an eco round. Just a few upgraded pistols coming in for FaZe. But the fact that Complexity are winning these rounds so clean, barely losing a player, it's so worrying. 4 players over $10,000. Rush, the only one who's kind of low on cash, and he still is sitting pretty in the 4.5K. This is extremely, extremely bad for FaZe. They need to start turning things around. They need to start winning some rounds, or at the very least, even if you're losing these rounds, make it close. You know, make Complexity bleed a little bit, because that's not happening right now.
That's the thing, Blair. Even if they start to pick it up, even if they start to pick up the pace later on in this first half, the problem is Complexity have so much money, but it's not really going to matter, right? They're not going to break that economy down. They're going to have to win rounds very convincingly, and they have to win them in a row here for FaZe Clan if they want any chance at making this half competitive. And now the play down Banana, Complexity are getting confident. Assertiveness over towards B, and this will start to funnel. If Complexity can continue to win that Banana control, they're going to funnel FaZe Clan exactly where they want them, into this A site. Config in behind. Don't do it to him. Don't go for the knife. The headshot picked up. Olofmeister a little too far away to go for that knife kill. Luckily, it's just the kill from behind. BlameF following up. Brokey and Rin now 2v3. They can still win this round, but they're really just trying to take Jules, and it's not working out for them. Complexity shutting them out yet again. Brokey just fleeing the scene with his ult. And FaZe Clan, they've had everything. They've had buys on the rifles. They've had quicker plays. They've went into slower defaults, but now they've even got the ult out. Just not working for them. Brokey has to pull off a big clutch, and he's got a 1v1 fight here on B.
This is Poison. Poison, he's hiding behind a pillar. Brokey has no idea. Thinks it's towards the new box. A little bit of a miss shot. There actually does get a tag and finishes it off. Dinko, here's a terrifying stat. There's a combined total of 3 frags between Olof, Brokey, and Kirby, and we are in round number 10 of the map. Olof yet to get off the mark. Kirby just got his first kill in the previous round. And Brokey, the guy we pointed out as being the best player so far for FaZe in this tournament, he's only had 2 kills. This is brutal. This is a beatdown right now.
Yeah, this is certainly a beatdown. 12 and 3 on Config. He's not stopping. And BlameF just running down middle. M4 in hand. A second kill coming through this time from BlameF. He got another one. He's just picking them up, tearing through them. Poison started off the round, but BlameF follows up with 2. And now we're standing in a 5v2 immediately. If you're FaZe Clan, this is not a pretty sight right now. You're getting absolutely manhandled. And JKS from the back of the B-bomb site. It's another double for him. Fantastic stuff. Complexity, 9-1 on the board. I honestly think JKS is one of the best players in the world from that position. I have seen him so many times from new box, shutting players down. I remember casting Tyloo versus Renegades way back in 2018 in the Asian Minor final, you know, the El Clasico of the Asian Minor. And JKS was tearing up in new box. That's all my first memories of professional casting, and it still sticks by me. It's just fantastic stuff.
Yeah, you can always believe in Mr. Savage to shut things down. The Soul Site Anchor. JKS has 13 kills. Config has 12. FaZe Clan have 14.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. That's not a pretty picture at all. And the other thing is, BlameF wants a piece of the pie, right? He's had enough of letting his team take all the kills. He decides to run down middle in the previous round, and Complexity off to another great start with JKS battling for that top spot in the team. That's the real fight here for Complexity right now. It's not FaZe Clan. It's an inner battle to see who's going to end on top right now. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, this is a massive turnaround. And also FaZe, it's just... They haven't really done anything. The pistol run was great, though. They had a game plan in mind. They won it. They won the duels as well. Great stuff. But apart from that, even some of these executes have been a little sloppy. You know, the flash is not quite landing, not really blinding Config up towards balcony. But slowly but surely, they have to control the brackets to go. And it's going to be Rush. A nice shot to open things up, finding Rain. But Olof at least gets the trade. And that's Olof getting off the mark. That's his first kill in the server so far. And with that, they're slowly going to be falling back towards B, where once more, Dinko, it's going to come down to JKS. He's all by his lonesome. He's playing at the back of the site. And it's going to be facing off against 3 players from the side of FaZe.
JKS holding on in the corner. Utility around. Smoke down for the coffins. And JKS holding on. The kill from Coldzera. That'll be a big kill coming in from him onto JKS. And now 3v3. Time ticking finally. FaZe Clan, this is the best round they've had in a while, right? They've got a real chance of picking this round up. And Brokey with the AWP at new box, holding on for a big kill. 2 players towards the ruins. One has already crossed it. Oh, Brokey, this timing gets caught by Poison, trying to transition. And out is Coldzera and Olofmeister, and they're not getting anything. Poison just shutting them out of the round. And Olofmeister will try his best, but he was never going to succeed. A bomb was not planted for him, and a 10th round picked up for Complexity.
Yeah, the postmans were so awkward, and then We saw Brokey just jumping out. The timing was absolutely atrocious, right? I guess he was expecting the Molotov to be coming in towards New Box. Instead, it went to where he was jumping towards. But Poison just plucks him from the air. Nothing's going their way. This was the closest round they've had in, I feel like, almost the entire half. And even then, it doesn't work out. Like you pointed out, all off from that position, even if he had managed to try and do something from that position, the bomb wasn't planned for him. And here we go, Rush. Gonna be aggressing down mid. This is the first time Complexity have gone for this aggression against a buy round, and Rush is gonna win both the duels. Blameless gonna mop with the other two players as well. Cole left alone. It's 1 minute and 36 seconds on the clock. It's a buy round for FaZe, and it's a 1v5. This is grotesque from Complexity. It's painful.
coldzera running out. Feels like a losing battle right now, but he's got a 1v4. It is clutch coming in from coldzera. They spot his position, and Poison, of course. Poison just re-peeks. So many AWPers would gather that info and then just sit back, right? But Poison, he just swings out, takes the 1v1 fight. Easy kill for him as well. Fantastic stuff for Complexity. Absolutely no problems right now up against FaZe Clan. And honestly, Blair, I was hoping for a better fight here for FaZe Clan. They picked this as a possible punish pick. They looked at the statistics and seen Complexity. Haven't played Inferno that much with his team, and bad move right now.
Yeah, that's a start. Poison still sticking around despite getting tagged. The guy is feeling it. However, finally, FaZe, an opening kill going their way, Dinko. That's something, oh my gosh, we haven't seen in a while, but Conflict with the aggression is gonna gather so much information. Poison just peering down mid, just getting kills at will. And despite that opening kill, once again, the advantages of FaZe Clan just gets whittled away rather by Complexity.
This is some of the most aggressive CT side play I've ever seen on Inferno. This is unbelievable.
It's no respect. It's no respect right now.
Zero respect on the server. They're pushing down Banana. They're pushing the apartments. They're pushing mid. They're just everywhere right now. And Complexity, they're suffocating FaZe Clan.
Ooh, okay. That's an opening. But JK's position over here means that they don't really have to budget two players from the A bomb side. Rush is going to be pressured here. JKS finds one. Rush's position still not known. He's going to find a bomb carrier. It's all on Rain. And Poison's going to finish him off. Nothing's going their way, Denko. It was, of course, just the pistols. But for a moment there, I felt like FaZe, maybe they had a chance. But it's still looking pretty grim at the moment.
Yeah, this is real awful for FaZe Clan right now. They're not going to have anything to fall back on, right? They've just got to adapt on the fly. And when Complexity are constantly pushing you, you can't play your own game. If you had any sort of idea how you wanted to play Inferno, it's out the window completely because Complexity are telling you how you're going to play Inferno. And right now, FaZe Clan not really getting much playtime. This is unbelievable. Complexity looking for 13 rounds. A buy coming in for FaZe Clan. If they lose this one, Blair, I'm looking at a 14-1 half right now for Complexity. And this is not the game I was hoping for. This is not the game I was expecting. But it's entertaining. Complexity just bashing on FaZe Clan.
Yeah, if you like watching players, you know, some of the streamers stream them deathmatching, I guess this is the sort of game you would enjoy as well. I really wanted to fight from FaZe, I won't lie, but this is just grim.
Oh my god.
And Poison forcing him out of the position. He's going to peek again. Of course he's going to peek out again. The guy, he's just lost it. He just wants to just take these duels, Dinko. They have absolutely no fear whatsoever for FaZe. Brokey comes running on it, and Poison is just deathmatching. 17-3. coldzera trying to punish him, but he's unable to spot him out. Takes a couple of shots, but backup has arrived. BlameF has found all of Meister. Bombs drop towards Banana. And coldzera, well, oh man. I don't even know what to say right now.
This is brutal. Absolutely brutal coming in here from Complexity. They are not stopping. FaZe Clan, I mean, show them some mercy at least, Complexity. This is just awful. They won the pissed around and haven't won a single round since. Complexity is having a great time on Inferno. And we take a look at the last round of the first half. Approaches from FaZe Clan. Oh, is there any point right now? They're going to run into B. Need usage coming in from Complexity. This is actually one of the slower rounds from Complexity. They haven't got a player running down Banana just yet. So FaZe Clan finally giving some breathing room. Maybe they can get a second round. Maybe they can double their scoreline going into the second half.
Complexity have only played one Inferno in the past 3 months, and the one game they played was against Fnatic, a fantastic Inferno side. Oh, never mind. Hold on. Hold the presses. It's BlameF just shutting everyone down. Dinko and JKS. All he has to do is just stick around, wait for backup to arrive. All these players have been spotted out, and JKS dealing even more damage. Cold Zera is going to have to do all the heavy lifting because his players right now are hemorrhaging.
Oh, Poison with a kill on the KIB. Brokey following up while Blinded and Rush doing work. JKS finally comes out of his position. An absolutely brutal half coming here from Complexity. FaZe Clan, can they recover? It's not looking likely as we head into the second half. Complexity beat down FaZe Clan in the first half. It's 14-1. Complexity, the real battle for them. I joked, Blair, but it's true right now is who's going to end on top. 19-4 on Poison right now. That's leading the way. BlameF getting involved, 15-5. JKS anchoring that bomb site and 16 kills. Config was on 12-2, I think, at a certain point, maybe even 12-3, but he is still on 12 kills. He hasn't had to do anything, Blood. Over in the A apartments, he hasn't got to get involved, right? Everybody on Complexity is having a good game right now. And FaZe Clan, what can they hope to do here?
I don't know. I mean, Complexity is trying to beat the world record for the ending percentage speed run on this map right now, honestly. Like, we could literally have probably one of the fastest maps of Inferno, but it's all going to depend on this pistol round. FaZe, the one round they won in the first half was a pistol round, pretty convincingly. It's going to be Rain who's going to be pressured here. He's got a nade. That nade, if he times it right, could deal quite a bit of damage. And Cold and Rain are finding Blame F, but Rain gets taken down by Config, who comes jumping in through the smoke. And JKS thinks, is he going to get checked? They're not going to check him. And he's with his shot, but he still recovers in time to find Coldzera. But Brokey replies back with 1, 2, 3 kills. And make that 4 at Brokey. The hero for the side of FaZe as they get a long-awaited second round. What a round from Brokey.
Brokey clan showing up, winning the pistol round. That is just unbelievable. Brokey is an animal. 4 kills out of nowhere. Okay, Complexity, they whiff a little bit. I mean, JKS certainly should have found more than 1 in that position, but everyone has a day where they whiff a little bit. But Brokey, man, he is just popping heads. That third kill is ruthless, and he cleans it up. FaZe clan, they needed a pistol round. They've got it thanks to Brokey. They're going to need way more of that coming into this next round, though. Complexity have 3 AK-47s, 2 Deagles. We know they can win these rounds.
They do indeed. The 3 hero AK-47s, and Blameleff's going to pluck Olaf Meister, and he's blinded! And he still gets the kill onto Rain. Oh, that's all going wrong for FaZe. Coldzera now left on the B bomb side. Backup has arrived in the form of Brokey, who is going to... Well, I thought he was going to attempt to flash Coldzera into towards Banana, but it's going to reposition himself. And yes, indeed, the flash is going to be coming on in. But I do believe Complexity are ready. Look at Rush, Dinko. Look at Rush. He's playing the anti-flash. The flash not going to find anyone. They were reading it perfectly and waiting for the aggression from FaZe. I love what Complexity are doing here. They get the 2 opening kills. They slow it down. They wait for the re-aggression from FaZe. Now, this is gone from bad to an absolute nightmare right now for Coldzera and his merry men.
Yeah, this is definitely looking real rough for FaZe clan. Config's gonna start clearing these corners. Brokey barely limping them through that pistol round. You know, if it wasn't for Brokey, they'd be probably on 15 rounds right now. Looking to try and close out Inferno, but looking to grab 15 anyway. Coming into this next one, they're fighting back. KRB has to show up in the pit. He's got 1 kill onto Rush. Brokey standing tall. A double kill from Brokey, and a third as well. That's 4 kills in the round. FaZe clan yet again. Back-to-back 4Ks from Brokey. He is the one-man army. Complexity cannot deal with him in these first 2.
8 kills coming in for Brokey in those 2 rounds. So I guess he's had enough. He's like, I'm just going to do it on my own. If I have to get a quad kill every single round, that's exactly what I'm going to do. But that is a huge play from Brokey, just deathmatching his way and showing Complexity that if he can frag, so can I. And that's going to force the Juggernauts down to just the pistols. Brokey being a little bit too over-aggressive there for my liking. He should know just the pistols. Gets tagged down to 42 points of health. In the meantime, towards Banana, FaZe have taken control, have rested Banana away from Complexity. For Complexity, though, no utility whatsoever. It's going to be 4 P250s, the solitary Deagle in the hands of Blame F. And for them, it's just about trying to deal as much damage as they can towards FaZe. Maybe get the bomb down. But for FaZe, Dinko, it is an uphill battle with lava flowing down the slopes.
If it wasn't for Brokey, this would be over. It just would be over. That pistol round was done. It looked like Complexity had a far better position set up. They were winning all of the duels, well, most of them at least. And in that last round, things are looking fantastic for Complexity. This should be over, but Brokey says no. Now Coldzera getting his time to shine. That's 2 kills collected. Lynette and Rush both going down. Coldzera with a 3rd kill from the cubby. And Brokey this time finally going down. JKS getting a double kill, but they line up. Olaf Meister getting 1. Would have liked the second there. Config, he will eventually fall. Olaf Meister getting his reward. 14-4. Complexity will want to close this as early as possible. The FaZe clan are coming back into it. A couple of rounds now picked up for them. But it has been risky. It has been scary in these first couple. So, Complexity coming into it, finally getting their buy round. This could be a worrying sign for FaZe clan. They've got to show up early, and they've got the AWP out for Brokey.
Can't believe JK has got 2 kills from that position. 1 kill on the Cole, understandable. The second one was just great stuff. Man, if JKS wakes up, this Complexity team is suddenly looking really, really scary. Doesn't matter which... Doesn't matter who you are. For FaZe, though, they needed the pistol, they needed anti-ecos, and that has been achieved. Now it's about contending with the rifles, and all of peeks into 3 players looking this direction. Great nade from Brokey there, but it's not going to be enough to slow down Complexity. I think it was Olaf, actually. Brokey, Crosshair trained at the entry position. Smoke's going to bloom. That's going to force him out of position. This is a very, very ballsy play from Brokey holding that angle. But the thing is, getting that kill over there towards B, it's going to split defense. Config gets shot on his knees by Kirby from the balcony. But a split defense, Dinko, it's a problem for FaZe, and that means they will have to go for a bit of a gamble and send Brokey back towards Archway.
They're going to have to pull him over quickly. Here comes the A attack. Kirby, 4 kills. Coltero's on 10. He's been playing pretty well so far. 2 kills from Kirby. That starts things off well. Now Coltero's trying to strike, and he only gets 1 kill from the position, and they've lost the bomb site. Man down here, FaZe Clan into the retake. They have got Brokey off towards Library with his AWP, and Olofmeister trying to edge forward. The money is on the line here. If they pull off this retake, they've got a chance, but most likely outcome is that they lose this right now. And they won't have that AWP to play with. They won't have the rifle, so it's likely over. So they're going to go for it. Olofmeister running in, and now Brokey has no other option. He cannot win this round. He's out of there. He's saving the AWP into the next one, and Complexity will reach map point.
There's so much man can do, Dinko. There's so much he can do, and even right now, we need to win this duel, and he's going to land a shot. A little bit of overkill, a headshot as well. And that's Rush taken out of the equation, but doesn't matter for Complexity. They're actually wrapping around. Brokey. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I felt that. Oh.
Yeah, that's rough. Complexity not even giving them a small chance. Not a little bit of mercy going into the next one. And fair enough, you know, it's Brokey. Yeah, not giving him a slight chance to pull anything off. We know what he can do. But 15-4 for Complexity. We're heading into the last round most likely here. This could be all over. This was FaZe Clan's map pick. We talked about it. Okay, maybe a good chance here for FaZe Clan. You know, we look at the veto. Inferno hasn't really been played that much by Complexity. But my god, are they looking so solid on it. Maybe there's a reason people don't want to play Complexity on Inferno.
Yeah, the interesting thing is they don't really necessarily ban it out. They have banned it a couple of times. Config, he fights 2. How does he fight both of them? And JK smacks Brokey straight into the grave, 6 feet under. This is done. This is done. It's a wrap, boys.
Well, I said it on Twitter. But if you're a fan of blood sports, you love this match right now. This is just brutal. This is like in Gladiators, right? When you have the unbeatable champion and they just smash down everybody. FaZe Clan just getting absolutely destroyed right now. Ran out of there, and it's finished. Rush and Blimette for the final 2 kills, and Complexity 16-4 on FaZe Clan's map pick. This series is not looking that great for FaZe Clan.
JKS is smiling. Hello, hold on. Clip that. We just witnessed JKS actually cracking a laugh, and then I think he realized that he's on camera. Now he stops.
Wait, hold on. Back to not smiling.
That's how good that game was for Complexity. The fact that JKS actually is just smiling and grinning year to year, which is fantastic. You rarely get to see that. And that's how brutal it was. How brutal of a beatdown that was for the side of FaZe Clan. That was painful to watch.
It was painful to watch if you're a FaZe Clan fan. Complexity fans still will be loving this. Big resurgence from the team. We've got the difficult task of breaking down what happened in that game after the break. So join us then. We'll see if we can do it after the break. Absolutely brutal coming into this one, Blythe. There's nothing you can say about that one other than Complexity absolutely stomped on FaZe Clan. That was just not a match of Counter-Strike, really. That was a speed run coming through from Complexity on Inferno. And the worst part about it all is FaZe Clan's map pick.
They lost both the pistols, Dinko. Let that sink in. They lost both the pistols and yet won 16-14. That is how lopsided that game was. And a scary thing for FaZe and anyone else who Complexity might be facing down the line in this tournament is the fact that Poison and JKS, they're back, baby. Poison was looking fantastic, hitting almost every single shot with his AWP. And Mr. Justin Savage, we saw him crack a smile just after the game before he immediately realized that he is on camera and then he's not allowed to smile by contractual obligations, and he stopped smiling. But the fact that he cracked a smile and was laughing goes to show that JKS was having a whale of a time. And if he's going to be playing at this level, the level that we expect him to play, and we all know how BlameF and Config have been looking so spectacular so far, it is looking grim indeed for the side of FaZe, considering map number 2 coming up is going to be the pick from Complexity, and it is going to be on Nuke.
Yeah, Complexity have been looking really, really solid. I have to say, though, when you take a look at this map, there's so on the Complexity side, so that's where we're going to be focusing, right? There's nothing you could talk about for FaZe Clan at all. But the Complexity, I just...
maybe?
Brokey, yeah. But, I mean, you could always talk about Brokey, just insane individual. But when it comes to Complexity, how they actually lock FaZe Clan out of that was just super aggressive CT sides, right? Suffocating FaZe Clan completely. They had no chance to play their T side at all. They had no chance to play their own game. And if you're a team that's just coming into this with Olaf Meister as stand-in, if this team, they have an in-game leader that's not very comfortable IGLing, you're not going to be able to adapt to that. And Complexity completely obliterate them.
Yeah, and just that no respect style of CS we were seeing from Complexity is what kind of warmed my heart, like a little bit that part of my heart which is a Complexity fan. But then again, it was terrifying for FaZe, the fact that they weren't really able to find an answer for it, right? We do of course have a head-to-head as well, and it was between, well, Config, who he had a great start, but then he didn't really find any frags because no one was coming his way. Everyone was getting slaughtered, just swallowed whole by JKS and Poison and everyone else. Brokey though, bear in mind, he was 1-8 or 1-9 at one point in that map. So the fact that he was able to kind of bring it back overall is pretty impressive. I do believe these stats are obviously from the previous games they've had so far, where Config was the reason that Complexity are here right now. Because if they hadn't won that, if he hadn't just gone Juggernaut mode on Mirage against ENCE, it could be ENCE playing here today against the side of FaZe. So, you know, Config obviously being the player to watch. Brokey as well. Unfortunately for Brokey, he still played at his level today, but everyone else kind of, well, they just didn't show up in the server.
Yeah, they just didn't. And when you take a look at Complexity, you said it's a very scary time for anybody that will face Complexity later on in this bracket. It's 100% true, right? You take a look at Poison. We talk about his inconsistencies as an aggressive AWP. He plays off confidence, Blair, and he was getting a lot of confidence out of that one.
Yeah, he did. And we talk about confidence, right? It's kind of like a cliche. It comes to Counter-Strike and whatnot, but I feel like at its point for these two teams, it's something that's been sorely lacking in this tournament so far. Like we said, Complexity almost losing to ENCE. They got completely smashed by Gambit as well earlier. So they're a team who are probably having an identity crisis, right? JKS, ever since he came into this team, it hasn't necessarily looked that great. So yes, this win over FaZe, I know it's only been a map, but if you're able to take the series 2-0 and that too in a very convincing fashion, it could be something that they desperately need if they want to make a deep run in this particular event.
Especially with the play style of some of these players, you want to see them confident, you want to see them fired up, and Complexity are certainly fun to watch when they're fired up. Heading into Nuke, it's going to be a difficult challenge for FaZe Clan, but what are the win conditions for them if they're going to pull this off?
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to be starting on the CD side because it is the map pick coming in from Complexity. So give them a taste of their own medicine. Be aggressive, in your face, just go for it, take the fights. You have nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose for FaZe Clan going into the second map. It's Nuke. It's Complexity's map pick coming up after the break.